CJ Stroud returns as the Texans control their own destiny. DeMeco Ryans speaks, and there's a hell of a lot to get into. 2 games left, lots of storylines remaining. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle.
He's back. He is back. He is alive. He is well. What's he going to look like on the field, though? It is the locker room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. I'll be back on the air tomorrow. We'll have an exclusive interview with a player straight off the practice field, as we usually do. And the Texans got 2 games remaining. It's very simple here. We'll get into CJ Stroud's return. We'll hear from DeMeco Ryans, but it's very simple. Texans control their own destiny. You beat 2 division rivals to end the season. Tennessee, who really just kind of chasing their tail right now, don't know what the hell is going on with them. And then the Indianapolis Colts. You win those 2 games, you're in the playoffs. Now, could you end up winning the division? Perhaps. Jacksonville would have to slip up and lose. They got Carolina this week. But you win these next 2 games, really just win this next game, and then we'll be talking about a Colts matchup between 2 first-year coaches, and it'll be much different vibe at the finale of the season between the Texans and Colts than it was last year. They control their own destiny. Now, CJ Stroud, he returned to practice today. Told y'all this was going to happen last week. He was apparently improving. I think the NFL concussion protocol, what we're learning about it is they're going to err on the side of caution. And especially with what happened with Tua last year, they don't want that situation to happen again where a guy clears concussion protocol, then gets hurt. And we saw CJ leave the field in numerous weeks. So CJ Stroud has returned to practice. What's he going to look like? Is there a rust factor? What does the squad look like? I don't know, but it's good to have CJ Stroud back because watching Case Keenum was not fun for me. I know there's a lot of Case Keenum truthers out there. That was not fun. Quite frankly, I don't need to see Case Keenum play another snap of NFL football. Maybe he ends up finding his way on the coaching staff or something like that. Maybe he can be an emergency quarterback. But if the main interest of your football team is to win games, then seeing Case Keenum go on the football field is not ideal. So we have CJ Stroud returning to practice. Blake Cashman has returned to practice. Will Anderson was out there. He was more of a pretty much like an observer. Will Anderson wasn't active or he wasn't moving around that much. Although Wednesdays, as we've arrived at the conclusion of Wednesdays are not known as intense practice days. Let's look at the full practice report here. Here is the full practice report. As you can see, still a lot of guys not practicing, but again, Wednesday is always an interesting day as far as that. Adrian Amos, not injury related. He had something personal happening. Will Anderson did not practice. Malik Collins did not practice. Grenard, Shaq Mason, Steven Nelson, man, he's been battling his ass off this year when it comes to injuries. Shout out to crazy ass Steven Nelson. Then Sheldon Rankins and Tunsil. Tunsil never really practices on Wednesday. And then you have a bunch of limited participants. Tomorrow's the one when we'll get a much clearer look at what's going on with these guys. But the big news, obviously, CJ Stroud is on the practice field. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans. Let's hear what DeMeco Ryans has to say. He met with the media types as head coach of the Texans.
It's encouraging to have CJ back out at practice today. It's encouraging to see him. It just lifts everybody's spirits to see him back doing well and still progressing in the right direction. So, happy about that.
Can you tell us more about his status and where he's at right now?
Yeah, right now he's in stage 4 of the concussion protocol. Still has one more phase.
What went into the decision
I'm looking to add just another veteran safety there. We lost Jimmy with the injury. He won't be able to be back with us. So just looking to add more depth to our safety position there. And, you don't at this time of year, it's hard to find a guy who has, the type of experience that Kareem has and the type of playmaking ability that he has. So we're able to add a guy and looking forward to working with him.
Did the unnecessary roughness penalties play any factor into being hesitant to bring it back?
No, that does not play a factor in at all. No, Kareem has made a lot of plays in this league. As all of us, you have things to clean up, technique-wise, to clean up and make better decisions there. But that didn't slow the decision down for bringing him in.
Do you have any updates you can share about Will Anderson Jr.? Do you think he'll be back before the regular season?
Yeah, we'll see where Will is going. He's made some strides, right? He's definitely moving in the right direction. He's out working out, so we'll see, what he can tolerate as the week goes along. And yeah, we're very hopeful to get Will back. He's been a very important piece to what we've done on defense, so it'll be great to have him back in some capacity.
DeMeco, when you look right now at Tennessee, they're going through a similar process as you with the quarterback situation. But what stands out about Ryan Tannehill if he is to be the starter for them?
Tannehill is just the experience stands out. I think when you talk about decision making, God knows where to go with the football, can get there in a hurry. He makes really great decisions with the football. That's the thing that stands out about Ryan. Whoever plays quarterback, they feel like their scheme and everything that they do, right, will stay the same. So we're preparing as if it's both guys or whoever is up will be ready to go.
Are there unique challenges to playing a team twice in 3 weeks?
It's a little weird playing them so soon against, but when it happens, you don't think much is going to change schematically from both teams. You kind of know what you're going to get. They know what we're going to do. We know what they're going to do. It's just going to come down to just players stepping up and making plays and see who plays the best. Right? This is a huge opportunity for us, and we're looking forward to it.
Y'all did such a good job last time against Derrick Henry. What is the key to making sure y'all do that again? Because since he's had so many good games, that's the team.
Right, Derrick is a phenomenal player. He's done it for a long time, made a lot of plays. So for us, each game is a new game. What happened last game, it really doesn't matter. Right, you have to show up every game, right? And we can't rest on what we did last game. We got to show up, right, with the right mentality. We have to play the right way. We have to play good football, and it's going to take everyone to stop Derrick because he's such a phenomenal running back.
After a performance from the defense against them, like the Cleveland game, is that when you look back at it, is it, hey, we did this stuff incorrectly, let's fix it, or do you focus on, hey, this is what we need to be doing the correct way? What's kind of the balance of, hey, you did this wrong versus, hey, this is what it looks like when it's right?
For sure, there are a lot of great teaching moments within every game. Within that game, there are mistakes that we made that we clean up, and we get in the room, we talk about it, and we teach it, right? And we have thick skin, and we just go through it, right? Tell the truth about what happened on each and every play to make sure everybody understands so it doesn't happen again, right? And that's the main thing is just as we're coaching and teaching it, just want to make sure
Man, I hate to be Jalen Petrie in that tell the truth session.
we're all on the same page and make sure that we are better moving forward.
When you add rush and coverage at the same time working in tandem, you guys have shut down a lot of offenses. What do you think sometimes it's been where you don't have either or type situation?
Yeah, rush and coverage will always go together. And you have to be where you're supposed to be in coverage. The rush, they have to execute and be where they're supposed to be. So it's a lot of little details, fine details that kind of go unnoticed when you're just watching the game. But when you really study it and look at it, if we play with the proper technique, we play with the right detail and execution, right, we play really good football. And showing the guys that when we do it right is pretty good. And we botch a couple things, it turns into explosives, turns into points, which is not good in our favor. So it's just a matter of us continuing to execute, continue to play together, right? That's what playing good football is about. It's about team ball, it's about playing together.
With 2 regular season games left in a potential playoff game, how much can Kareem Jackson help a young player like Jalen?
Yeah, we'll see with Kareem. Again, he has valuable experience. He's been in the league for a long time. Right? He's played a ton of different schemes, played with a lot of different players. Kareem is a a really good player, but he's also a really great teammate. Right? I've been fortunate to be his teammate, right, for 2 years, and he's a really great teammate. I know he cares a lot, and he'll do a great job of helping our young guys and teaching all of our young guys.
Got time for a few more.
In regards to the pieces around the quarterback, once CJ got hurt, the offense kind of went into a little bit of both from a scoring points perspective. Regardless of under center, what do you guys have to do around the quarterback to prevent whoever's out there from having to overcompensate?
With that, man, with the offense and how we operate, man, it's really about, it goes back to executing, right? And it starts up front, executing, right? And it starts with the run game, right? If we can get the run game going, it helps whoever is under center, right? And I think that's shown when we've played well and we've played well on offense, we've ran the ball well, right? And there have been games when we had CJ, he's been able to throw the ball well. So wherever you're relying, I really truly believe if we're running the ball well, that helps us all.
DeMeco, do you, for a quarterback, assuming he passes the test, doesn't have a setback, when the game starts, what will you be looking for to make sure he's the same as CJ?
You're just looking for efficiency, right? Just being able to command the huddle, right? Being efficient with the plays that we're asking him to run. That's what you're looking for. Just looking for him to be comfortable in the moment, right? And the main thing is you want to keep the defenders off of him, right, as much as possible, so we don't have another hit or anything like that to, make him go backwards. So we just got to make sure we're protecting him, make sure we're playing efficient, and make sure we're just pressing forward, moving the football.
Last regular season home game, you guys go 5-3. Kind of obvious, but how important is it to go out with a win, go out with a bang in that regard?
Yeah, for us, it's a great opportunity for us. Playing against the Titans, really good opponent, right? And it's a important game for us because it's the next game. Right? We know how important it is, but for us, we didn't have a great outing last week, and the main thing for us is to come out, we have to play better. And we want to play better in front of our home fans. We'd love to have, their continued support, but they've been great all year for us, been loud for us, and we need that again. Going into our last home game here, need our fans loud, need them rowdy, and just create that true home field advantage that we always ask for.
Thank you, Coach.
There you go. I think the Titans game is actually going to be pretty rowdy. I wouldn't say that the crowd has been rowdy all year, but I do think it'll be interesting. There's a lot of Titans hate for sure. But you heard him talk about CJ Stroud. Good to have CJ back. Kareem Jackson. How does Kareem Jackson fit in? I think Kareem's a good pickup. It's a good in-season pickup. I mean, obviously he's not what he once was. Obviously, there's some question marks, but you look at the situation Denver's in. It's not like Denver's really in a situation where they're trying to win games right now. Kareem probably doesn't fit into their plans. He's also had the penalties and stuff. But I mean, if you're going to lose Jimmy Ward and you need someone back there that can provide a presence and provide, I guess, a lower level of versatility than he did back in the day, sign me up with Kareem Jackson. I think it's good. I think it's good mojo. I think it's a good in-season move. So I have no problem with that move. The Will Anderson thing, I think you can be cautious with Will Anderson. If he needs another week to rest, get him 100% healthy for the Colts game. They didn't have too much of a problem against Tennessee without Will Anderson. I don't know. Derrick Henry bounced back a little bit against Seattle. I don't know how much they're going to try to how much of a fight, I should say, maybe not try, but how much of a fight Tennessee is going to put up. I heard I guess their broadcaster said that they had a game where they didn't have a single starter in the secondary or on the D line recently. So who knows what happens with them. Will be interesting to also see who they have at quarterback. I know Mike Vrabel has said that the experience that Will Levis could gain in these final 2 weeks is extremely valuable. So maybe you get Will Levis trying to gut it out as opposed to Tannehill. I'll be honest. I would rather see Will Levis than Ryan Tannehill. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is like the end all be all, but I just think Will Levis coming out there trying to gut it out. I think he can give you the game. So we'll see what happens, or give you a chance to change the game. As we saw around the league, we normally do this on Monday night. We're doing it today. The Texans, again, in control of their own destiny. things could get interesting if Jacksonville falls to the Panthers. They got the Panthers this week. I think they're like a 6-point favorite. I wouldn't sleep on this being just a blowout with Jacksonville. Jacksonville's in a really, really weird spot right now. They got their quarterback trying to gut everything out. It seems like there's just a little bit of a stale atmosphere going on there. Carolina's actually playing a little bit better. They don't have good personnel, but they're playing more difficult. They almost beat Green Bay, which is I guess an okay football team this week. The Jags, I could easily see this being a close game. And if the Jags lose, then the Texans Colts would be for the division. So keep an eye on that. That's the other thing about this Cleveland loss. It doesn't suck as much because all the teams that needed to lose lost. You also have the Colts hosting the Raiders, which won't matter as much because the Texans and Colts are going to play again at the end. So what happens there? If the Colts beat the Texans, then I believe they'll be fine there. So it won't really matter as much. And then we have the Browns tomorrow. Browns have kind of put the Texans in the rear view. The Browns can lock up a playoff spot Thursday night against the Jets. And I tell you, I think the Cleveland team's dangerous. Now, they do have an interesting thing going on right now in that on top of all the injuries they've already had, now they have kicker and punter banged up. So Kevin Stefanski, he's definitely in the conversation for coach of the year. I think Shane Steichen is as well. I would say DeMeco is a contestant for it. But me personally, I don't know how it's going to go. I would vote for Stefanski and then perhaps Steichen there. Not to take anything away from DeMeco. I just think, the CJ element, I think if we're just looking at the quarterback position, I think CJ's kind of doing his thing. I think they're doing, I don't want to say more with less because Cleveland has the elite defense, but that would be my vote. Now, DeMeco obviously will get some consideration and deservedly so. But the bottom line is this. We'll go back to it. The Texans control their own destiny. The Texans beat the Titans, and then they got the Colts, and then we're talking playoffs. What is the ideal scenario for the Texans? At this point, I would almost rather just say F it and play the Chiefs. I mean, the division would be great. If Jacksonville can lose and the Texans can host a playoff game, that would be cool. But at this point, F it. Just give me the Chiefs. That's just kind of where I'm at. Do I expect the Texans to go to Kansas City and win a game? Maybe not. But if I'm looking at all the division winners outside of Jacksonville, like if they could go to Jacksonville at this point, obviously that would be nice. But I don't want to see Baltimore. I don't want to see Miami, especially if Miami gets healthy. I would just say F it, give me the Chiefs. Let's see what the Texans can do against the Chiefs. A team without receivers. Obviously, you'd have to figure something out with Travis Kelce, but they're kind of limping. But if they can win the division, that would be great. But outside of that, if you're just asking me for like the Texans are a wild card squad, give me the Chiefs. So division, Chiefs. Why not? Would I pick them to beat the Chiefs? No, probably not. But that team's in a weird spot, and I would just like to see the atmosphere. I like to see old Taylor Swift in the stands during a Texans game with all the atmosphere, etc. The Cashman return is good. Now, I don't want to put him in the same category as Jimmy Ward, but it does seem like, these guys that we've talked about throughout the course of the year that are really important to this defense, they've had trouble staying in the lineup. And I'm not even really counting Will Anderson because Will Anderson, it's one injury. But we've seen multiple stints in which Jimmy Ward and Cashman have been banged up and missed games for other reasons. And that's been the biggest problem with Cashman was staying healthy. So I want to sit here and say it's great to have Blake Cashman back, but it's also hard for me to say, if they win these next two games, he's going to be 100% healthy. Maybe they gave him a little bit extra time, but it is unfortunate that these guys are battling it out and doing their thing, but they're not able to stay in the lineup. But that is a big thing. It'll be interesting to see the injury report tomorrow. We try not to overreact. This has been kind of something where each year is different, but Wednesday seems like a light day. A lot of rest going on. And then Thursday, sometimes you look up and there's two players only that sat out when the day before there was like 12 or 15. So it'll be interesting to see. Bottom line, CJ back, destiny controlled, Titans coming to town. We'll keep the content coming through tomorrow on the show. By the way, Cody Stutes is going to join me in studio tomorrow. I haven't done radio with Stutes before, so he's going to join me in studio from 10:15 Central to 11:15. If you don't follow Stutes' channel and subscribe, it's the number one. I would say it is the number one resource for information when it comes to the Houston Texans. I would strongly recommend it over a subscription to the Houston Chronicle. They don't even have The Athletic anymore. He's there every day. He's married to the city. He follows the team. It's not generic ass features or anything like that. It's nuts to the chin of the Houston Chronicle. It's not even close. Their Texans coverage is not close since they lost Brooks Cabina to what Cody Stutes has going. He's going to join me in studio tomorrow. We'll keep this going. We'll hear from the coordinators tomorrow. Maybe we'll hear from CJ Stroud. We got the exclusive interview. Let me know in the comments who, if the Texans get into the playoffs, who would you want them to play? Obviously, the division is a given, but who would you want them to play? I say the Kansas City Chiefs. Am I going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs? No. Are the Texans? No, but that would be my dream. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. We're back in the mix. CJ's back on the field. Kareem's back. Life is good. Destiny is controlled. We're all in it together. Appreciate you.
Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top two and we not two. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube.